GPT-4 is a large multimodal model accepting image and text inputs and emitting text outputs. The GPT-4 exhibits human-level performance on various professional and academic benchmarks. In this video, I have summarized my top 10 points to note while using the GPT-4, which were greatly improved from the previous ChatGPT. The first one is it has learned to be more precise. Now this is coming from a research by Chris Nicholson, an AI expert and a partner with the venture capital firm Page One Ventures, who used the GPT-4 on a recent afternoon. He told the bot that he was an English speaker with no knowledge of Spanish. Now to his surprise, he asked for a syllabus that could teach him the basics, and the bot provided one that was detailed and well organized. It even provided a wide range of techniques for learning and remembering Spanish words. Now Mr. Nicholson asked for similar help from the previous version of ChatGPT, which relied on GPT 3.5, and it provided a syllabus, but it's too generic and less helpful. So to tell you that the GPT-4 has improved in its precision and detailed report or detailed output in terms of the prompt it receives. So according to Mr. Nicholson, the GPT-4 has broken through the precision barrier, and it is including more facts because they are very often right. Now the second point to note is that it has improved its accuracy. When Oren Ezioni, an AI researcher and professor, first tried the new bot, he asked a straightforward question: what is the relationship between Oren Ezioni and Eli Ezioni? The bot responded correctly. Now ChatGPT's answer to this question was always wrong. Okay, it gave a very wrong answer. Take a look at it. Now getting it right at this moment with GPT-4 indicates that the new chatbot has a broader range of knowledge, but it still makes some mistakes, because after this prompt, the bot went on to say that Oren Ezioni is a computer scientist and the CEO of Allen Institute for Artificial Intelligence, AI2, while Eli Ezioni is an entrepreneur. Most of that is accurate in the first place, but the bot, whose training was completed in August 2021, did not realize that Dr. Ezioni had recently stepped down as the Allen Institute chief executive. So that's a setback, because it's not up to date. The GPT-4 still is not up to date. It finished its training August 2021. Now the third point to note is that it can describe images with impressive detail. GPT-4 has a new ability to respond to images as well as text. It can also answer questions about an image. If given a photograph of the inside of a fridge, for example, this one can suggest a few meals to make from what is available in this fridge. Take a look at this example. What are a couple of meals I can make with this? Okay, and look at the answer. It can make yogurt parfait, carrot and hummus wrap, and it gives details about what should be needed for this kind of meals. Now OpenAI has not yet released this technology to the public, but Be My Eyes, a company that is collaborating with OpenAI, is using the GPT-4 to build services that could give more detailed idea of images encountered on the internet or snapped in the real world. So this to me is a very great improvement in the precision and details of pictures given to it. Now the next one is it has added serious expertise. Okay, on a recent evening, Anil Gehi, an associate professor of medicine and a cardiologist at the University of North Carolina, described to the chatbot the medical history of a patient he had seen a day earlier, including the complications the patient experienced after being admitted to the hospital. Now the description contains several medical terms that an ordinary person will not understand. When Dr. Gehi asked how he should have treated the patient, the chatbot gave him the perfect answer. Okay, that's exactly how we treated the patient, Dr. Gehi said. Now, when Dr. Gehi tried other scenarios, other medical cases, other reports from medical cases, the bot gave similar impressive answers. So this is also an improvement in the expertise of the chatbot, especially this GPT-4. Now another improvement or another point to note is that it can give editors a run for their money. When provided with an article from the New York Times, the new chatbot can give a precise and accurate summary of the story almost every time. Every time you prompt it with that story, it's going to give you a summary that's completely accurate. If you add a random sentence to the summary and ask the bot if the summary is inaccurate, it will point to the added sentence, and that shows the degree of accuracy it has. Take a look at this question. Is there anything that is inaccurate in the summary? And it will highlight directly to the sentence that was added to the summary. Now, Dr. Ezeoni said that it was a remarkable skill. To do a high quality summary and a high quality comparison, it has to have a level of understanding of a text and an ability to articulate that understanding. Now, that is an advanced form of intelligence. Another point to take note of is it is developing a sense of humor. Right now, it is developing a sense of humor that's much more higher and better than the ChatGPT, which is its predecessor. Now, take a look at this prompt. Dr. Ezeoni asked the new bot a novel joke about the singer Madonna. Can you tell me a novel joke about the singer Madonna? And look at the comparison between the two bots, GPT 3.5 and the GPT-4. The first one wasn't that funny, but take a look at the second one. Tell me about a joke about the singer Madonna. Why did Madonna study geometry? Okay, and it gives itself the answer because she wanted to learn how to strike a pose in every angle. And I think that is super funny. This is exceptionally intelligent. It was marginally funnier than its predecessor, said the doctor. Now, another point to take note of is it can reason up to a point. The GPT-4 can reason up to a point. Dr. Ezeoni went on to give the new bot a puzzle. Take a look at the two puzzles and take a look at the reasonings in both cases. The system seems to respond appropriately, but the answer did not consider the height of the doorway, which might also prevent a tank or a car from traveling through. Okay, so in both cases, GPT-4 even gave a wrong answer because he did not consider the height and width of the doorway, which can prevent entrance. OpenAI's chief executive Sam Altman said the new bot could reason a little bit, but its reasoning skills break down in many situations. So the previous version of ChatGPT, which is the GPT 3.5 in each case, handled the questions a little better because it recognized that height and width matters for the entrance. Another point to take note of is that GPT-4 has aced the standardized tests. OpenAI said the new system could score among the top 10 percentiles on the Uniform Bar exam, which qualified lawyers in 41 states territories. In the Uniform Bar examination, the GPT-4 scored the top 10 percentile. Okay, it also scored about 1,300 out of 1,600 scores questions on the SAT exams in the United States, and a 5 out of 5 on Advanced Placement High School exam in biology, calculus, microeconomics, psychology, statistics, history. According to the company's test, it scores 5 out of 5. Now, previous versions of the technology failed the Uniform Bar exams and did not score as nearly as high on most advanced placement tests that we've just highlighted here. Another key point to take note of is it is not so good at discussing the future. The GPT-4 is still not so good at discussing the future. Though the new bot seemed to reason about things that have already happened, it was less adept when asked to form hypotheses about the future. It seems to draw on what others have said previously instead of creating new guesses. When Dr. Ezeoni asked the new bot what are the important problems to solve in NLP research over the next decade, referring to this kind of natural language processing research that drives the development of systems like ChatGPT, he said it could not formulate entirely new ideas. Most of the ideas it provides are previously drafted ideas by other people. It could not really look into the future and make reasonable comments or bring in new ideas that could advance the research. The last point to note for today is that the GPT-4 is still hallucinating. The new bot still makes stuff up. The problem haunts all the leading chatbots that I know because the system do not have an understanding of what is true and what is not. They are still at the trial stage or under the research stage. They still collect input. The training is still ongoing. They may generate text that is completely false. A very good example is when asked for the addresses of websites that describe the latest cancer research, it sometimes generated internet addresses that did not exist. Okay, that's one of its setbacks. It's still with GPT-4. It happened in GPT 3.5, but still with GPT-4. So ladies and gentlemen, these are my top 10 noticeable points that you should pay attention to with this newly released GPT-4 from the research, according to some of the findings by some of the scholars who have used it and some direct interaction that I had with the chatbot. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please remember to give it a thumbs up if you do, because that means a lot to me. So I'll see you in the next one. Bye.